Stop everything you're doing right now, because what you're about to hear will completely change how you think about your existence on this planet. Most people walk through life worrying about deadlines, bills, and tomorrow's weather. But here's what nobody is talking about. Scientists have actually calculated an expiration date for all life on Earth, and the number is both terrifying and strangely comforting at the same time. Here's the wild part. Earth is not dying anytime soon. In fact, according to research published in the journal Astrobiology by scientists Andrew Rushby and his team, along with updated models from NASA and multiple astrophysics institutions, Earth still has approximately 1 billion years left as a fully habitable planet for complex life as we know it. 1 billion years. Let that number sink into your brain for a second. But wait, before you breathe that sigh of relief, you need to understand why this clock is ticking, because the answer reveals something about our sun that most people were never taught in school, and it should probably be front-page news every single day. Right now, at this very moment, the sun is not the same star it was when dinosaurs roamed this planet. The sun is slowly, gradually, but absolutely inevitably getting hotter and more luminous. Every billion years, the sun increases its energy output by roughly 10%. That might sound small, but when you're talking about a star 1.3 million times the size of Earth blasting radiation across 93 million miles of space, even a 1% change is catastrophic for life. Here's where it gets controversial, and this is the part climate scientists and solar physicists rarely discuss together in the same room. We spend enormous energy debating human-caused climate change, and rightfully so, because it's real and it's urgent. But layered underneath all of that is a slower, unstoppable, natural warming process driven by stellar evolution that no policy, no technology, and no international agreement can stop. Two completely different timescales. Two completely different conversations. And most people don't even know the second one exists. So what actually happens as the sun gets hotter? According to models built by researchers at the University of East Anglia and confirmed through subsequent NASA climate modeling, as solar luminosity increases, Earth's surface temperatures will gradually rise beyond what liquid water can maintain. Water is not just a convenience for life. It is the fundamental engine of all biological chemistry we know of. When surface water begins to evaporate at a global scale and cannot return through the water cycle efficiently, the oceans themselves will start to disappear. Scientists call this the moist greenhouse effect. Water vapor enters the upper atmosphere in massive quantities, and unlike carbon dioxide, water vapor in the stratosphere gets broken down by ultraviolet radiation. The hydrogen escapes into space. Permanently, irreversibly, Earth loses its oceans, not through a dramatic catastrophe, but through a slow, brutal, molecular evaporation that plays out over millions of years. Before complex animal life disappears, scientists estimate that photosynthetic plants and advanced multicellular organisms will begin struggling within approximately 500 million to 800 million years from now, as rising temperatures and carbon dioxide fluctuations disrupt the delicate chemistry of photosynthesis. Simpler microbial life, the kind that existed on Earth for the first 2 billion years before anything more complex arrived, may survive for another billion years or two beyond that in underground environments and deep ocean hydrothermal vents, if the oceans partially persist that long. Now pause right there, because here's the part that should genuinely blow your mind. We, as humans, have only existed for approximately 300,000 years. Recorded human civilization is about 6,000 years old. And we are somehow standing at a point in cosmic history where we are the first known species on this planet sophisticated enough to actually calculate the timeline of our own world's end. Every creature before us lived and died with zero understanding of the stellar mechanics controlling their fate. We are the first. That is either the most humbling thing you have ever heard, or the most extraordinary. The sun itself, for context, is currently 4.6 billion years old and sits comfortably in the middle of its main sequence lifespan. It will continue fusing hydrogen in its core for another approximately 5 billion years before expanding into a red giant, a transformation that will ultimately engulf Mercury, Venus, and possibly Earth itself. But long before that dramatic finale, the slow luminosity increase will have already stripped Earth of the conditions that make life possible. What scientists find fascinating, And what should keep you up at night in the best possible way is that this window of habitability we currently occupy is not guaranteed to any planet. Earth landed in what astronomers call the circumstellar habitable zone, the narrow orbital band where liquid water can exist on a planet's surface. And even within that zone, the window of complex life is shockingly brief on a cosmic timescale. We are not at the beginning of Earth's story. We are not at the end. We are somewhere in the middle of the most extraordinary chapter, the chapter where life became conscious enough to ask the question of how long this all lasts. Scientists are not saying panic. They are saying pay attention. They are saying this planet, right now, in this precise moment of solar and geological history, is almost impossibly perfect for life. And that perfection has an expiration date written in the physics of our star. So the question I want you to sit with today, the one that I genuinely want you to answer in the comments below, is this. Knowing that Earth has a calculated biological expiration date driven by our own sun, does that make you feel more grateful for the time life has here, or does it make you feel something closer to existential urgency about where humanity needs to go next? Follow this channel, because we are just getting started.